Sports Channel America.
Garden. Welcome to Sports Channel's coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Tonight, the Whalers and the Bruins are indeed ready to decide this first-round playoff struggle. Good evening, everyone. Rick Peckham and Jerry Cheevers with you tonight. Jerry, as the big news here at the Garden is, during the warm-up, it was indicated that Ray Bourque probably will play this Game 7. As we look at him here, of course, he's been out with an injured hip and thigh since Game 2.
Well, it is official, Rick. He is going to play, and as we talk, you'll hear the roar from the crowd to verify that fact. But Raymond Bourque, you know, when you get into desperate situations, you do desperate things, and he may be hurt still, but he will be in the lineup. You can bet your money on one thing. He will inspire this Bruin hockey club.
Well, the Bruins have all their weapons in the lineup. Bourque may be hobbling, as Jerry says. Also, Craig Janney could be hobbling. Of course, he's been bothered by a bruised left shoulder since late in the regular season. He's been in and out of the lineup in this series, but he's been very productive when he has played.
Well, he certainly has, Rick, and he's a big key to their power play. He's the quarterback, and the Bruin power play has been responsible for both their victories in this building. In fact, the Bruins have not scored a goal at even strength in both those victories, so the Whalers are certainly going to have to deal with Craig Janney, especially on the power play.
Now, a whole lot of the Whalers have been involved in a seventh game of a Stanley Cup playoff series. There have been 8 Whalers who were involved in the Hartford-Montreal 7th game in a preliminary round back in 1986. One Whaler has been involved in a 7th game against the Boston Bruins. That's Pat Verbeek, who played for the Devils 2 years ago against the Bruins.
Well, Pat Verbeek has received an awful lot of attention from this Bruin team during this series. But he's a gamer. He's a guy that will show up tonight because that's the type of player he is, Rick. And as you said, Pat Verbeek's been through it before, and let's look for him around Andy Moog all evening.
Jerry, the underdog Whalers have forced this 7th game. If they're to complete the upset against the Bruins, what do they have to have going for them tonight?
Rick, obviously they got to be skating. Nothing positive will happen if they don't skate. And they won't be able to hit if they don't skate. They have to be aggressive tonight. But the most important factor tonight is their ability to move the puck out of their end. If they're not skating, they won't be able to move it out easily. And if they're constantly in motion, it may be a lot easier for them.
Jerry, the Whalers are set to take on Bourque and company. You can hear the Garden crowd is ready, and we'll be back with the drop of the puck to get things started in just a moment.
The 1990 Stanley Cup playoffs are brought to you by Nike, who reminds you to just do it. By Coors Light, the one that won't slow.
Are getting set for the singing of the national anthem and the opening face-off of tonight's game. As we look at number 77, Ray Bourque. He was hit by Grant Jennings in the last 30 seconds of Game 2, injured his left hip and thigh. Had a big problem with bleeding and soreness in that area, and was not expected to play in this game. He came out about 6 o'clock this evening to skate during many a live eye sportscast here from the Boston Garden. So a number of cameras caught him in action as he was just testing the leg, and he is pronounced ready to play, and he's set to go. As we're set for the singing of the anthem, here's Rene Rancourt.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red bombs bursting in air gave cruel
the jam-packed Garden. Ready for this one to get underway. And the officials tonight, Don Koharski is the referee, Ray Scapinello and Ron Finn are the linesmen. The alternate officials are Ron Hogarth and Mark Vines. The off-ice officials are from the New York Islanders. Peter Sidorkovich, who has played every minute of this series in the Whaler net, will get the start in goal. The 26-year-old netminder, you see his figures on the series. Came back with a strong performance in Game 6 in Hartford, winning in overtime. Andy Moog is making his sixth appearance of the playoffs. He's among the leaders in goals against at 2.20.
I'm wondering if the Garden crowd would be in the same frenzy if Raymond Bourque wasn't in the lineup. They anticipate victory.
The Whalers open up with Ron Francis, Randy Cunneyworth, and Pat Verbeek up front. The Bruins do not start with Bourque or with Janney. They have a very reliable line on of Christian Poulin and also Randy Burridge as Cunneyworth and Galley collide. We get an icing called against the Hartford Whalers with 16 seconds gone.
One thing the officials have to do tonight, Rick, is lean on the whistle. Cunneyworth a late hit on Galley because I'm sure he didn't hit the whistle. Hear the whistle. But this is a noisy building, as we know by now, and especially in a seventh game. Mike Milbury had to be relieved when he came into the Garden tonight, and there's his superstar testing the hip out.
Dave Poulin battles Francis for control of that puck. Brad Shaw takes it on the Whalers' defense. He's checked immediately by Dave Christian. Randy Cunneyworth clears the zone. Don Sweeney's in a race with Pat Verbeek. Sweeney's looking for some help. Randy Cunneyworth swoops in for the steal. Cunneyworth in front of Francis, and he sends it off the side of the goal. Francis still has it. Verbeek in front of the backhand. He's stopped by Moog. The puck is swept away by Galley and down the ice.
Well, the first good scoring opportunity belongs to the Whalers. Good work by Pat Verbeek in leading the forechecking on this particular shift. It allowed Randy Cunneyworth to come up with the puck, and this is the end result, a jam from the backhand of Pat Verbeek. And the Bruins and Gary Galley iced it. Here comes Raymond Bourque, so we won't be able to say anything for a few seconds to minutes.
Bourque produced 3 points in his 2 earlier appearances. And he is ready with Bobby Carpenter taking this draw away from Ray Ferraro. Big Alan Peterson with a pass ahead to Carpenter. He misses John Weiss. Weiss, a rookie from the University of Wisconsin, just completed his collegiate career with the Badgers winning the NCAA championship. And Moog makes an easy glove save on Mike Tomlak. Carpenter pokes it ahead to John Carter. He's checked. Mike Tomlak in traffic, backhanded into that Boston zone. And here's Bourque handling it. He's chased by Young. Ferraro moves in as well. Weiss, the 22-year-old, with a pass out for Carter. Maneuvers in around Dave Babbage. He cuts it. He shoots a save by Sidorkovich. They score!
Well, an early goal for the Bruins, and one thing Coach Mike Milbury wanted was a quicker start, and it's the rookie Weiss who will get credit for this goal. Carter in all alone. You'll see Sidorkovich with the save, but watch number 42 follow up the play and bang it past Dave Babbage, who is behind Peter Sidorkovich. But a fine move by Carter to go in alone. You know, all you can ask your goaltender is to make the original save. And what the coaches ask their forwards is keep going to the net if you're the second and third guy.
John Weiss.
But Weiss out of the University of Wisconsin gives the Bruins an early 1-goal lead. Here's the move again. Let's watch 42 right in the middle of your screen. What a time for your first National Hockey League goal.
In his second Stanley Cup game, as Wesley's back with the puck, he's bumped by Kevin Dineen, one of the Hartford heroes. In Game 6, Ray Ferraro is checked by Bobby Carpenter. Ferraro looks to center as Tomlak in front. Tomlak tries to help out back there. Ferraro gets it in front. It's knocked down by Dineen. Carter comes up with it. He'll relieve the pressure, and Sivak Kolte has to hurry back. Weiss is an 11th round draft pick from 1985 by the Bruins. Had a great career at Wisconsin. Here's Craig Janney cutting in. He fakes. He's checked from behind. Neely bunts it toward the net, and he carries it wide. Out comes Tom Lack. The Bruins with the pressure on, and Jennings bounces it back into that Boston zone. Young, checked by Janney. Don Sweeney works it free to Brian Propp. Weiss with the goal from Carter and Raymond Bourque at 1:30. The scoring play. Galley shoots, a save by Sidorkovich. He'll cover it up. Propp goes spilling into the corner, and play is halted. We've played 2:35, and Boston leads in game 7, 1-0.
The Orient needs something. The West has it. The problem for CSX transportation? To get it there on time. The answer? A 9X computer system. Sophisticated. Global. So in Tokyo, soybeans can be made into tofu. Just in time for lunch.
Off the faceoff, Grant Jennings is chased by Cam Neely. Kevin Dineen chops the puck through center, and Janney is back for it. Evison goes down as Galley bumped into him. Evison was trying to get a penalty call from Koharski. Propp shoots, and he sails it over Sidorkovich's helmet. Dineen is belted by Galley. Neely runs over Evison. Bradshaw gives the puck to Jennings. The lead out for Dean Evison. Evison with a drive, and it's gloved by Moog. He'll set it down for Galley. He has Neely in right wing. Samuelson comes looking for him as they collide, and it's Propp cutting in. Shooting a save by Sidorkovich. He wants a whistle, and Koharski will let him have it.
Well, we're looking at Janney and Dean Evison go at it. I'll tell you, it's not the first time that Ulf Samuelson and Cam Neely have collided in this series. But the Whalers have got to get their third man in action, Rick. They're getting caught too deep in the Bruins' end. The Bruins have had 3 or 4 quality rushes. And actually, Peter Sidorkovich, who made a good save on Galley in the previous shift. Brian Propp almost took his head off, but he had plenty of time to let the shot go. The poor Whaler defense has got to back in because there's no one coming back. They're just a little anxious, the Whalers, in the Bruins zone. You have to have that guy up high and be able to come back with the play to allow your defense to stand up.
The Bruins, the best team in the regular season, want to put this home ice advantage to good effect. They also have the experience factor by a wide margin in their favor.
Oh, they certainly do, and that's very evident right now. The Whalers are a little nervous, a little uptight. They have to survive this early part of the game, and hope it's just 1-0 for a while.
Francis is checked, and we get a whistle for an offside against the Whalers. As Gould and Francis get to their skates, veteran linesman Ron Finn calls for the face-off outside. Ron Francis with Cunneyworth on the left side. Rick Lee has tried many a left winger with Francis and Verbeek. Todd Krieger had success early in the series. Cunneyworth gets the call here.
Randy Burridge will be playing left wing with Sweeney and Bobby Gould. This is like a 4th line. What Mike Milbury's going to do is just insert his left wingers onto that line as they dress 7 defensemen.
Ulf Samuelson backs up the play. Looks for Verbeek. It's taken away by Wesley. He has Francis all over him. Francis trying to get it to Verbeek. Rookie Bob Beers comes over to meet Verbeek. And Burridge has the puck. He leads it out for Wesley. Randy Cunneyworth comes back to take over for the Whalers. It's 1-0. Bruins in front. A goal by John Weiss at the 1:30 mark. Samuelson with a shot. A save by Moog. Wesley is decked by Cunneyworth. Samuelson in the race for that puck along with Hawgood. Babbage in there as well. And Samuelson gets to it. The pass out hit Jody Hull. Cunneyworth takes over. He's trying to get off on a line change. Ray Ferraro maneuvers in with 4 Bruins back. Don Sweeney, who's played a heck of a series on the Boston defense. The lead pass is swept away by Sidak Kote. And the puck is deflected into the penalty box area.
Talking about guys having great series, Dave Christian's had a super series, and He's one of your experienced guys that we talk about all the time. He seems to always be even though he's on the checking line playing mostly with Poulin and Randy Burridge, he seems always to be in position to score, especially to the right of Peter Sidorkiewicz, the Whaler goaltender. But he's come to the front in the series as a face-off man. He's succeeding in face-offs about 95%. I think he's only lost one of about 20.
Now Neely will take this draw with Janney playing with the injured shoulder. Neely won a big face-off in Game 5. Ended up scoring a shorthanded game-winning goal on that play a few seconds later. Well, Mike Bilberry has no qualms about putting the big guy in that spot. Alan Peterson has the puck, gives it to Bork. Bork avoids the hit. Here's the pass to Janney. Hands it to Prop, lets it go. A save by Sidorkiewicz. We've played 5 minutes here in the opening period of Game 7. Boston leads. Here's Tippett with a pass to Kevin Dineen. Dineen trying to maneuver around Peterson, and Bork deflects the puck. Moog quickly hops on it, and Koharski halts play.
Now, one of the keys to any success is your ability to come out of your end. And look at this, 1-2, and the third pass, or the second pass, I should say. Here's the third, and it creates a scoring opportunity for Janney and Prop. You can always tell what type of knee he's going to be by your ability to move the puck out of your zone. As we mentioned in the opening record, a lot of the problems the Whalers have had in this series is because they couldn't move it as easily as we just saw the Bruins move it.
Jerry, do the Whalers get overly conscious with Bork's situation and trying to take the body on him, or is there any danger in that?
Well, I don't think so, Rick. I'm sure the coach has said if you get a crack at him, go ahead, but you can only take what's available.
Gary Galley pursued by Dineen. Cunneyworth sends it ahead for Chris Govidaris. He steps in against Galley. Throws it in front, and Moog knocked it down. Freezes it. Now Cunneyworth and Carter go down. And we have at least one penalty call. It looks like it's going to be only Randy Cunneyworth going to the box. 14:34 to go in the first period. Boston leads 1-0.
Yo, this is Mars Blackman in the house with action photos by main man Michael Jordan. This is Money slamming in Detroit, in Philly, Boston. Must be a bird's eye view. DC, LA, the Yak. Shut up, I'm doing a Nike commercial here. Shut up. The other LA, Texas. Yeehaw! Denver, some serious hang time. Must be the mountain air. San Francisco, Moscow, Paris, oui. Walla Walla, Budapest, Theatre Tranquility.
Well, rookie Chris Govidaris playing in his only his second playoff game makes a pretty good move on Galley, and the one hands it towards the net right here. Now watch coming out of your picture, Cunneyworth and John Carter, and the only penalty of this play will be Cunneyworth for roughing. Well, we're going to see a shot of it right here as the elbow comes up, and the first penalty of the game goes to the Whalers, and the first power play to the Bruins, who have a 1-0 lead. That's there's times in this game, Rick, when you're trailing by one in the most important game where you just gotta, bite the bullet, skate away.
Well, the Bruins have been tremendous on the power play. Well, in the series, certainly, almost 26% efficiency, and in this building, they're 6 of 18. Bork drives it in. Sidorkiewicz holds it up. And Peter will play it as Carpenter and Jennings collided. Tippett goes down trying to clear that zone. Wesley gets there in time to keep it in, and he takes a hit from Evison. Carpenter pulls his way through, makes the pass to Bork, flips it back to Carpenter. Janney controls, looks at Neely, finds him. The shot is kicked away by Sidorkiewicz. We have a penalty upcoming as Evison and Wesley collide. It will be a Whaler penalty. Neely shooting at Samuelson, blocks it, and Koharski will send Jennings off for roughing with 1:19 left on the first penalty.
Well, Cam Neely had the puck at the hash marks, and he thought it was going to be a Bruin penalty. He completely let up. But it's going to be to Grant Jennings for roughing. Let's take a look at this. 1:19 left in the Cunneyworth penalty, so the Bruins with a 2-man advantage for that time. You'll see, well, this is going to be Ulf Samuelsson. He didn't call this. He called a roughing call, not the holding call. You know, in a game like this, you're going to let the holding call go down. Right here, you'll see 25. Grant Jennings right there with the left jab to Bobby Carpenter's head. You know, you can sort of expect, you know, getting away, especially when you're a man down with a little hook or a hold, but not with throwing a punch at the guy or the stick up.
Now the Whalers are looking for a way to settle down. Nothing would do it better than if they could kill off this two-man disadvantage of 1:19. Francis, Cote, and Ladouceur comprise the shorthanded unit. Christian, Neely, and Janney up front for the Bruins. Cote clears as Wesley and Bourque continue at the point.
Wait, you see the position of Andy Moog?
Janney looks for Bourque. Takes the shot. It's blocked by Ladouceur, and the carom comes back to the charging Andy Moog. Janney tips the pass. Cote flipped it away. Wesley. As Christian cutting through, Janney will carry it in. Christian pokes it along to Wesley. Over to Bourque. Back to Wesley. In deep, Christian in front. Neely could take the shot. Janney hands it to Bourque. Over to Wesley. Christian back to Wesley. Bourque, the one-timer. Saved by Sidorkovich. Ladouceur got a stick of the rebound, but Bourque keeps it in. Bourque. Over to Wesley. To Christian. Shooting. It's blocked by Ladouceur. Christian has it again. Janney with 15 seconds on the first penalty left. Janney hangs on to it. Back to Bourque. Wesley lets it go. It's deflected by Ladouceur. Neely back out to Wesley. Cunneyworth set to come out. Here's Bourque. Over to Wesley. Into Neely in front. They score! Craig Janney has made it 2-0 Bruins.
Well, the first penalty had expired, the penalty to Cunneyworth. So Jennings will leave the box right now with the Bruins moving the puck around at will. And up till this point, the Whalers have did a fantastic job. But watch Neely right now get it over, trying to get it to Christian, but it's deflected over to Janney. We'll see it better from this angle. You see Christian right in the front of the crease area, and the puck is deflected to Craig Janney to the left of Peter Sidorkovich. And I'll tell you, he need breaks in this game, and that puck could have gone in a few different spots than on the stick of Craig Janney.
Janney with his first goal of the playoffs at 7:29, as you see, and that wipes out both penalties as Samuelson flips it in deep in the Boston zone. 2-0 Bruins. Galley's pass to Bobby Gould. He's checked by Young. The Bruins work it to the point, but not out. Scott Young had it deflected off his stick and into the crowd by Gould. 2-0 Boston in front. We've played nearly 8 minutes in the opening period.
At All-Star Dodge, we've been Baltimore's #1 Dodge retail dealer for the past 7 years. Our customers keep coming back again and again because All-Star sells below credit union buying services and sometimes even below fleet prices. All-Star's $500 down cash or trade policy lets just about anybody drive a new Omni, Caravan, Daytona, or Dodge pickup truck right away. And you'll find All-Star's company executive demos discounted as much as 30% right now at All-Star.
You know, there's an old saying that patience is a virtue. Well, this is going to come into effect right now with the Whalers. They do not have to tie it up right away. I mean, they have 52 minutes of hockey left. They just cannot give the Bruins another goal.
Randy Burridge tips the puck out to center. So often in the meetings in regular season play between these clubs and in this series, the Whalers have scored first. But Boston has opened up the 2-0 advantage. Samuelson's back, and it's icing against the Bruins. We look at hard-hitting Ulf Samuelsson. He missed the first 25 games of the season as a result of off-season knee surgery. Jerry, they say that it takes about a half a year to come back from that type of thing, and certainly his season bears that out. The next 39 games weren't that great, but he finished up a +12 in his final 16.
Well, how about his 6 previous games in the playoffs? And tonight, he's come to the top for the Whalers on defense, and especially physically. He has taken the body, played it straight up and all out. And, you know, he really rushed back from that injury, so you could expect a slow start from Ulf, but once he got in game condition, he was a heck of a player for the Whalers.
Francis with 5 points in the 6 games. Bruins gain control, and it's Alec Peterson. Flips it out to center. Shaw occupied Carter. Now it's Carpenter belted Francis, and Peterson sends it back to Ray Bourque. Carpenter sidesteps the attempted hit by Jennings. Verbeek runs over Carpenter. Krieger shoots a save by Moog, and he'll hang on. 11:23 to go in the first. It's 2-0 Bruins. Let's pause for a regional break. Sports Channel's coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs will continue after these messages.
Lazarus borealis, Didelphus marsupialis,
Many creatures in the animal kingdom come out at night.
Tyto alba.
Some are more exciting to watch than others.
You know, there's been a lot of terrific hits in this series, and we're going to see right here Carpenter and Patty Verbeek. And what this does is allow Krieger to break out and end up with a shot on Andy Moog. You know, Andy Moog has made 4 or 5 saves, and I don't know if that was on the money or not, but 4 of them have been with his glove. He gives you that side, then he takes it away from you. I would think the Whalers would want to shoot to his stick side. The one shot tonight from the Whalers that created a rebound was a shot that went off his right pad.
For those viewers who did not see earlier games in this series, in Game 5 here, Scott Young blistered a shot off the right shoulder of Moog on that stick side. He was shaken up, was able to continue, and now we received reports since then that his availability was in question somewhat, but he has kept going and has played very well. The Whalers really haven't tested that side on him. We've got a penalty now to Carpenter for belting Todd Krieger, and Don Koharski will award the Whalers with their first power play chance here at 9:05.
Well, Carpenter did get the elbow up on Krieger to the left of Andy Moog. You just see in the top left of your screen, no question about that. The Whalers have put themselves in a spot, Rick, that I don't think they wanted to get in, where they're going to have to score 1 or 2 power play goals tonight. You know, they've had an awful problem with their power play in this building. I guess awful really means they haven't scored in 18. This will be their 19th opportunity. And by being down 2-0 early, and they're going to have to score on it tonight if they want to win this game and pull it out.
Talking to assistant coach Jay Leach before the game, he says, well, the adjustments in this power play situation have got to come really from the point men. He wants them moving a little bit to perhaps get away from the aggressive penalty killers of the Bruins.
That goes back to what we were saying. If you're not skating in this game, nothing positively happens, and the same in that area of the point on the power play.
Whalers have only 2 goals on the power play in this series, both, of course, in Hartford, and created by rather, well, weak shots from the point, just trying to get something going. Young with a drive, a pad save by Moog. No doubt that one got through. Francis. And a roll it ahead to Deneen. He had it poked away by Wesley. Babbage and Young operate behind Deneen for Verbeek and Francis. Propp and Poulin, the old Philadelphia Flyer penalty-killing tandem. Work in front of Don Sweeney and Raymond Bourque, and here's Verbeek to try to start it in. Bourque gets rid of it to Poulin. Babbage will reorganize with 1:10 to go with a Carpenter elbowing call. Babbage cruises in. Don Sweeney leans into him, and the Bruins are able to clear.
You know, if someone's going to lead the rush in with the puck on the power play, you really can afford to have a second man following to come up with the loose puck.
Young ahead for Mike Tomlak. Tucks in, held up, gets it back, digs for it, but Randy Burridge gets in there, and he'll play it off the glass. 38 seconds to go in the Hartford power play. 9.5 remaining in the first period. Boston has a 2-0 lead. Strength goal by Bice at 1:30, and then a goal with a one-man advantage. As here's the pass to Hulkenberg, and shooting a save by Andy Moog. Randy Bird steams back, falls down as his shot goes wide. Bob Sweeney sends it back to the goal, and Brad Shaw takes control. just about up. Shaw drives it in. That Bruin power play goal, by the way, was scored by Craig Janney. As Boston's now back to full strength. And we'll get a whistle for an offside against the Whalers as we look at 30-year-old Andy Moog, who has plenty of Stanley Cup playoff experience, both with Edmonton and Boston.
Well, he showed it on that last opportunity. Fine pass by Ferrara to Jody Hull. Jody Hull with pretty good hands. He just banks it off the right pad of Andy Moog. You see what Andy Moog did there? He just didn't move. He established a position and didn't move. We'll see it better right from here. You'll see that he's out on top of the circular crease and gets his right pad on it. Andy Moog, who's been in net with the Edmonton Oilers when they've won a Stanley Cup game, should say a Stanley Cup championship. He was in the final game for one of their cups. Once again, experience, the key.
I think his first year in the league, he actually saw more action in the playoffs that year than he did in the regular season. Here's a Dineen chopping it into Dave Tippett. This has been a very effective line for the Whalers in this series, particularly recently. Dineen, Evason, and Tippett trying to get something started. But right now, Wesley is taken down by Sivan Cote as out comes Tippett. Wesley has time to turn and play the puck into the bench area. And out of play, the faceoff comes back inside the Bruins zone as we look at tenacious Kevin Dineen.
Freaking watching the Bruins defend that last rush of the Whalers, it seems that they think they can win 2-0. There's 8:15 left in the first period. They had 4 men up, allowing their defense to stay up, forcing the Whalers to shoot it in. I mean, that's what you'd like to do late in the game, but it's a pretty wise ploy with a 2-0 lead.
Jerry, did you feel that the Bruins, with the pressure to win this Game 7, obviously the much favored team, did you feel they might come out and feel the pressure a little bit and perhaps have to challenge whether they're going to lose their aggressiveness or not?
Well, they certainly come out very confident, Rick, and I think we go back to that word experience again. I think their experience allowed them to be very sure of themselves this evening.
And a 2-0 lead certainly has them settled into their style of play. Here's Cunneyworth starting it in. The pass is taken away by Bob Sweeney. Bork trying to clear, and he's checked by Verbeek. As Verbeek centers in front through a pile of players, Babbage angles it behind the net, and it's slapped away by Bork. Samuelson charges in. Gould is there to meet him. It's poked away by Bork. Greg Hallgood is with him. Bork on the rush, and his pass was flipped away by Randy Cunneyworth. Cunneyworth has time to gather it in. He races ahead, trying to split Bork and Gould. He could not do it. Bork's drive hit Ferraro. It caroms to Don Sweeney. Sweeney cuts in, shoots, and a stick save by Sidorkovich. Neely roars into action off that Boston bench. Ferraro plays it away to Young. Bradshaw has it. Jennings ahead to Scott Young. Big windup, sails it off the glass. And getting back is Galley, playing it away to Neely. Moog is complaining. He thought there should have been an icing call. Here's Sweeney firing, and it's blocked by Shaw.
I think maybe the glass has been broken. That's what he's trying to signal.
Here's Jennings. Janney with a pass ahead to Prop. Down he goes, checked by Shaw. Evason played it out to center. It's brought back in offside by Neely. 6:42 to go in the first. Bruins lead at 2-0. Let's pause for a regional break. Sports Channel's coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs will continue after these messages.
No. Well, there'll be a delay in this hockey game as you see the hole. See the man with the Scully hat on.
You don't think he's happy?
Oh, yeah, right now he's glad it was glass. And here's the shot that broke it. You see Andy Moog, he wants to stop it. Anytime the puck's in your end, you got a chance to stop it. There'll be all sorts of signals.
Gary, that gives an opportunity for your buddies on the Bull Gang to go to work here and replace that broken plexiglass.
Here they are.
Speaking of 7th games with the Bruins, we mentioned during Sports Nightly, you've played in 3 of them with your brilliant Bruin career, and I'll never forget the last one against the Montreal Canadiens in 1979, and you played right to the last with a bad knee.
Yeah, I was hurt pretty bad that series, but that's not an excuse. Actually, I didn't play the last game, but that was really a classic hockey game, and I wish I would have been able to play that hockey game. Unfortunately, I wasn't.
To get that far, certainly.
But they're, you know, they're fun, Rick. The problem is getting them started. I mean, you stall walk all day. You probably do a lot of different things you might do in a normal playoff game, but it's you just want it to start.
Well, as the full gang goes to work, our score here in the first period is 2-0 Bruins, 6:42 to go in the opening period.
The world's most accurate weather radar data is gathered by the WSI Corporation using the reliable 800 service of U.S. Sprint, the network that came through Hugo when AT&T did not.
Let's get that image up. The networks are waiting for the feed.
And if Sprint's nationwide fiber optic network can handle the moods of Mother Nature,
Front of this hurricane should miss us.
it can handle any business climate. Reliable all fiber optic 800 service only from U.S. Sprint.
Well, this bull gang takes pride. They say they're the fastest bull gang in the league, and it's being proven right now. We're ready to go. There's a shot of the broken glass. You see the puck at center ice. That's where the face-off will be, obviously. They'll take a little bow.
He's the man who would have been eating some vulcanized rubber had there been no glass there.
There's a shot by Scott Young. It got up pretty quick. Surrender. He wants to surrender. You know, this game, an early goal by the Bruins and a power play goal by the Bruins. And when you have a timeout like that, it probably gives Rick Lee more time to tell his team what he wants. You know, he wants to calm down. Just make sure the Bruins do not score the next one. We'll have to whittle this problem out. Mike Milbury, as I said, Rick, wanted a fast start tonight, and he certainly got that. And there's a 5 and 6, so they're behind 500. But they've won their last 2 here at home.
Well, they beat the Devils, including Pat Verbeek 2 years ago, and the Buffalo Sabres back in '83. That was quite a series.
Oh, it sure was.
Here's Wesley driving it in wide. Sidorkovich played the carom and almost got away from him. Sidek Kolte has it. Deneen ahead to Dean Evison. Abe Tippett takes on Beers. Puck still up for grabs in there. Deneen keeps the play alive. He's checked by Janney. Deneen centers, and Prop gets to it first. He's checked by Kolte. Evison sweeps it toward the net. Moog keeps the puck clear to Neely. Across to Wesley. Bruins and Whalers both make changes under 6 minutes to go in the first period. It's 2-0 Boston. Both goals early. Weiss at the 1:30 mark, and Janney in a power play at 7:29. Dave Christian has trouble gathering in the puck. Scott Young flips it on goal as Moog drops it for Don Sweeney. Randy Burridge got tangled up with Don Koharski, and Don Sweeney will try again. Sidorkovich comes out to handle it for Ulf Samuelsson. Honeyworth played in 11 playoff games last year with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Poulin breaks up the Hartford rush. Puck is butted away by Burridge. Francis ties him up near the Boston bench. Somewhere in there is the puck, and finally we get a whistle. Stanley Cup playoffs on Sports Channel continue tomorrow night with Game 1 action in the Campbell Conference Divisional Finals. First, the St. Louis Blues meet the Chicago Blackhawks, starting at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And then the Los Angeles Kings battle the Edmonton Oilers, with that match starting at 9:30 Eastern and being joined in progress by some areas. Be sure to check your local listings for the game in your area as the Stanley Cup playoffs continue on Sports Channel.
You had to be a little impressed with the Edmonton Oilers last night with the way they were skating, and he really utilized their speed to beat Winnipeg.
Well, Samuelson just went off to the Whalers dressing room. We don't know if it was an injury problem or an equipment problem. As Grant Jennings chases down the puck, Greg Hawgood's there to meet him. Well, everybody in a white jersey is playing the man tonight as Ray Ferraro maneuvers ahead. Tomlin lifts it into Boston ice. The Whalers want a quick change. Verbeek, Francis, and Todd Krieger come on as Bob Sweeney drives it in off Shaw. It just bounced wide of the Hartford Whaler net.
That was on, that was in. It just skimmed to the left of Peter Sidorowicz. Changed direction. Peter lost sight of it.
Bob Sweeney kicks it in wide. Sidorowicz plays it up the boards to Babbage. 4 Bruins across as Babbage cuts in. Francis shoots a save by Moog. He'll simply trap it against his crest. 4:16 remaining in the opening period. Moog and the Bruins have control at this point.
It's the right beer now,
But not now.
it's the right beer now.
But definitely not now.
Coors Light, it's the right beer now.
And absolutely, positively, not now. No way.
Come on, Jimmy, let me get your cab. Huh?
A couple of opportunities at each end. The first one we're going to see is Bobby Sweeney just shooting it in harmlessly, but it's going to hit Brad Shaw and change directions. You see Peter Sidorowicz. At the last second, he reacts as the puck was by him, and we'll see a chance right here. And let's watch where Andy Moog is, right at the top of the crease, standing up, and he takes it in the midsection.
Francis, who finished the regular season with a career-high 101 points, finished strongly to do it. 22 points in his last 16 games, but here's Wesley clearing that zone. Carter couldn't take the pass. Cote tipped it, so there's no icing, and Babbage had to hurry back. Carter gets to it first. In front, the pass by Bice is by Carpenter. Beers in a race with speedy Todd Krieger. Beers managed to get position on him. Sidorowicz being watched closely by John Bice. It's played to Shaw. Verbeek ahead for Evison. 2-on-2 with Krieger. Evison takes on Don Sweeney, throws it in front, and Galley takes it away. Here's Galley. Big windup, trying to freeze Tippett, cuts in, and a backhander. He's stopped by Sidorowicz, and Sidorowicz lost his helmet as Galley tumbled over him. In the meantime, the Whalers are on a 4-man rush. Evison chips it in. Tippett scoops it up, pass through the goal mouth. Heads for the corner as Evison was tied up at the Boston defense. Dean Evison has played a strong series for the Whalers. Deneen takes the shot, and it's blocked by Don Sweeney. Cote with a drive. Pad save by Moog, and the rebound is cleared away by Poulin.
A couple of times in this period, the Whalers have had the Bruins on the run. But once again, their experience, they don't mess around. They just ice it.
Poulin in front for Burridge. The pass was tipped, and Burridge slid into the net. And Sidorowicz doesn't like all the traffic. He's drawing. Here's Young with a shot that's wide. Bork is checked by Tomlin. 2-on-1, it's Christian with Burridge. Christian shoots, save by Sidorowicz, and Burridge missed to the rebound. Ferraro slides it to Shaw. 3 Bruins are back. Tomlin makes his way in. Ferraro trying to feed it back, and Tomlin was occupied by Bork. 2:10 to go in the period. Bruins lead 2-0 as Burridge taps it down the ice. Ferraro had it poked away by Poulin. Babbage is on the move. He drives one wide of Moog. Krieger heads down the boards. Met by Beers. Ferraro follows up. Centers for Beek. Shoots a save, and the rebound went past Babbage's backhand. Neely rolls it ahead to Prop. Cote has it. Pat Verbeek trying to get this rush organized. He'll lift it in deep. Wesley sails it out the center. Randy Ledesser to Verbeek. Prop tapped it away to Neely. Neely Keeps it away from Francis. He hands it away to Tippett. 1-on-3, Tippett barges in, is stripped to the puck by Beers. Prop's pass is intercepted by Evison. He has Deneen knifing through. Can't get a shot away. Bruins get back in good shape. Janney taps the puck away to the point. Shaw has it, lets it go through a screen. It's off a skate. It's covered up by Moog. That shot hit Don Sweeney, and now Prop roars in to grab Kevin Deneen. They got tangled up out near the blue line.
Brian Prop is going to be the only player going to the penalty box up till now. Koharski has signaled him. Prop without the helmet. He went after Deneen. I would think if you were Brian Prop and you're going to take that penalty, you might as well hit him. Don't get to the moment of truth and back off. That's what Prop did. I guess there's no question who blocked that shot, but Don Sweeney as he's trying to shake it off. Here's a shot by Brad Shaw. Ooh, right off the foot of Sweeney.
Boston penalty to number 36, Brian Prop. 2 minutes for roughing. Time the penalty, 18.
1:02 left in the period, and you know the Whalers have had 16 shots, Rick, and I know a lot of them were from a long way, but they've had 3 or 4 quality shots. Certainly Jody Hull halfway through the period, and just recently the chance by Pat Verbeek right in the slot area. We just got a glimpse of Brian Prop. He rushed over to Kevin Deneen. It looked like he was going to clock him from behind, but he got there and he went, whoops, this is a bad time to take a penalty. But by the time he brushed him, it was too late. So Koharski had already made up his mind if there was going to be a collision, there was going to be a penalty to Brian Prop. 2 minutes for roughing.
Now the streak without a power play goal in this building has been run to 19 straight chances for the Whalers. They'd love one here in the final minute of the period to get on the board and head for the dressing room with some momentum. Verbeek reaches for the puck. Bork got it away. Deneen out to Young. He is rushed by Christian. Verbeek shoots a stick save by Moog. The puck ends up with Deneen. He takes a jolt from Bork. Poulin sails it down the ice. 38 seconds to go in the first period. Babbitt. He'll shoot it in. Galley is bumped by Young. Francis. Plays it to Verbeek. Ferraro trying to help out. Francis to Young. Fakes the shot. Takes it. Saved by Moog with Ferraro right in his lap. And Burridge gets rid of it. 2 seconds to go in the period as Babbitt starts it in, and there's the siren before Ferraro could get one last crack at his old friend Andy Moog. So Peter Sidorkovich and the Whalers head to the dressing room, still with 59 seconds of power play time left on the Prop penalty. The Bruins lead on goals by John Bice, playing his second game in the NHL and obviously in Stanley Cup play, scoring from Carter and Ray Bork. And Craig Janney with a 2-man advantage just ending. The Bruins still had the 5-on-4 skater advantage, and he made it 2-0 at 7:29. The shots favored Hartford 17-11. And Boston, as you see, continuing a trend where they've been successful with a man advantage, and the Whalers have not in this building in the series. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll be checking in with Bob Papa back at our Sports Nightly studios in just a moment.